and welcome back to Celebrity with Nene. So I'm Nene, and today I have Johnny, Sean, and Reese with me, and we are going to be doing a recap of Love After Lockup. So the episode from last night. All right, so I guess I'll go ahead and just jump right in and start off with our first couple. So it was Chaz, or Charlie as I like to call him. So if you hear me say Charlie, I'm about Chaz, and Brandon. All right, so the episode picks up with them in the bedrooms, at the bedroom at the place she's going to be staying at, right? So that's her friend's baby daddy. Um, and so they're in the bed and, they're kissing and hugging and stuff. And Mike comes home and they hurriedly get out the bed because, Mike told Bronwyn that's one of the rules. She can't be having men up in the house like that. And they run out to the living room to meet him. So I was a little shocked that let me say it like this. I was like, at first I was like, wow, he's got some pretty stiff rules for them, knowing that they're newlyweds. But when I saw him, I want to hear y'all's input. I was kind of like, I get the rules now. He is an older gentleman. But something else I did, and maybe this is wrong of me to think this way. I was like, he's an awfully old looking baby daddy. I guess I don't know. Maybe their child is grown. Maybe that's why I don't know. But I guess I just, when you hear the word baby daddy, you think like a 30-year-old or 20-year-old or something. He looked like he's like in his upper 40s, probably. I don't know. But y'all let me know. Was I out of line for that? Saying I think baby daddy in that title with him was a little off putting, or I don't know. Maybe I'm being off putting. I don't know.
No, because I'm somebody's baby daddy and I'm 65 years old.
You are not 65.
I'm lying.
Oh, yes.
Don't make me give my ID card. I
Shots
told y'all,
fire, pants on fire.
I'm trying to get, y'all messing me up. I'm trying to get my senior citizen discount. Goodness, y'all. Snitches.
You're really trying hard for that 10 or 15%, huh?
Hey.
Okay. Alrighty. So they all sit down in the living room, and Mike, he kind of goes over his rules again. He's like, he doesn't want anybody just over there all the time. And, doesn't want to spend the night, things of that nature. And so Branwen, she's talking and, she's like, oh, I like your cat. Oh, and I was just like, Branwen, I feel like you're putting on an act right now, but whatever. And so Charlie actually gets up and he leaves, you know. But I felt like Brandon was ready for Charlie to go a little bit. That's kind of the sense that I got from it. And so he left. We see him driving back to the hotel. He's trying to, talk nice and play it up, but you can tell he's a little bit bothered that he had to leave her. So he gets back to the hotel, and the hotel room is all decorated up. Um, for Brandon to come. He's got rose petals everywhere. Um, he has sexy underwear, a just married sign like in the bathroom and stuff like that. So he's cleaning up the rose petals and stuff. And I was thinking in my head, she can come back tomorrow, right? She's not on house arrest in the house. Why are you picking this all up? She'll probably like it tomorrow too. But I do have to make mention. We did get a glimpse of something in that room that I have. This was the first time I've seen this on Love After Lockup. It was a box of condoms, because normally we don't see that. And then normally, they're bragging about, they didn't use protection and stuff. So I'll, I'll say I could appreciate that finally we're seeing a couple being responsible or trying to be responsible because they didn't get to use them. And so we see Charlie is calling his sister. He's at the hotel. He calls his sister and is talking to her about the day. And the way production made it looked like almost at the same time that he's talking to his sister, Brandon is talking to Aaron, her ex. So we see her talking to him, and she's like, yeah, we used to have great sex, but we argued a lot. I'm like, mm-hmm. But it was just like the vibe she was giving. I saw as she was talking to him because she did call him. Um, I almost felt like, you kind of giving vibes that Aaron can get it. Like you're not really just being like, but whatever. Okay, and so, she continues to talk to Aaron on the phone, and he gives her his opinion on her and Charlie. Well, he doesn't give his full opinion because he does say he'll hold his opinion, but he did say so much. He was like, he doesn't look like the guys that you usually date. And Brandon is like, no, he doesn't. I want something different. basically what I've been doing hasn't worked out for me. And he's really good to me. He looks out for me, and maybe, this is what I need. All right. And so that was pretty much Branwen and Charlie, aka Chaz. Um, Let me hear what y'all had to think about them this week.
Really not much to think about. Because when you had mentioned about maybe she can come back tomorrow, I thought he was leaving because the way he was talking, like gonna be 4 months before he get to see her again, to the sister. So I thought maybe he was leaving, and that's why he was doing all that cleaning up, going. Uh, and the older guy, the baby daddy, her
Mm.
new roommate. But he was throwing out all those rules. I was like, oh, she probably should just went to a halfway house.
Yeah. Once I heard that the halfway house was an option for, like,
Uh,
look, Harry was in there beating down walls, so at least Charlie may have gotten him some with her being at the halfway house.
no,
But
I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know if they had a lot of have visitors, but and then too, I did agree with Chaz, about how I was hoping that someone should have gave him a break. The parole officer just found out she got married, and he could have
yeah,
said, well, okay, starting the next day, she need to be at 6 o'clock. Then, oh boy, the roommate, the new warden, he could have said, well, hey, I'm going to step out. I'll be back in an hour or two, give y'all enough
hmm
time, to do what y'all got to do, and then blah blah. So yeah, uh, I just don't know. And then the fact that she called the ex boyfriend, because see, my opinion of the whole thing is that how she's supposed to not be feeling good about herself is that she is not feeling good about herself because she wants that attention from someone that is on a attractive level. Because Chaz is like a 5, so she probably wants someone like a 7 or an 8 to say, "Oh wow, you do look good." So that's
that's
why she was like with the
okay.
boyfriend.
So that's an interesting take. So Johnny, what number would you give Chaz? Is Chaz a 5? Is he higher or lower? What would you give Chaz? Shoot,
He's
what
not
would
my type at all, so I would give him 3 or 4.
Oh wow!
He's
All right.
short. He's super short. He's weird. He's not confident. I think confidence plays a big role in that. So the fact that he's not confident is a turn off. He's insecure.
Okay.
That's a turn off. There's so many things that are turn offs.
Yeah. So if that 3 or 4 was to walk by you and say, "Girl, you look good today," what you gonna be like? "Oh, of course I
You
look good."
know.
You look
Okay.
good.
So for me, it's really about like a man's personality and confidence, and the way that he treats me will actually up him. So sometimes if a man is less attractive, but I become friends with him and I see that, okay, wait a minute, this man does have some personality qualities by him. So with Chaz, I think first glance I wouldn't be interested, but he is a really nice guy, so maybe I could end up seeing something in him. Kind of like the way Bronwyn is saying that, he's something different and maybe that's what she needs. I mean, I can understand that, her wanting something different. Like, you know what? No, he's not as cute or built up as much as the guys that I'm used to dating. So maybe this may work. So I can kind of
Yeah.
see he may be going with that. Because sometimes you just need a change in scenery. I hate to call it a man scenery,
Yeah.
but sometimes that's what you need.
Oh, don't
But
worry. We call women scenery too. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm the one thing I'm working on is like realizing you're an asshole. And I'm attracted to assholes, so I gotta stop dealing with you. Get a whole different personality over here instead of asshole personality.
yeah,
So,
Because that
yeah.
yeah,
hadn't gotten me
Yeah.
anywhere. So I
So
can
then
try
with that,
that, but the physical ain't gonna change.
because I was gonna
now
say, with
I'm
that being
I'm a
the case,
shorty. I mean, I'm definitely a shorty. So chances are I'm shorter than Chaz. So even his height wouldn't necessarily be the the factor because that's not usually a factor. I'm trying to think if I've
He'd
ever.
be under a boob. Y'all see how big these boobs are. He'd be right up here. We ain't dealing with that.
All right, so Reese, what do you give Chaz?
Mhm.
Charlie.
Are we talking personality? We saying
That's
overall.
what I was saying. Because for a personality, I
See,
give him like a 7.5. As far
no,
as
no,
looks,
because you
um,
ain't gonna judge nobody off of their personality.
I
No,
do.
sometimes you do.
I do. I do. Absolutely. I do.
Yeah, okay then. Let me go ahead on because I'm
Yeah, but you
65.
can't tell a personality as soon
No,
as you meet them.
not as soon as you meet them, but once you talk to them, you know, then you can get a gauge of their personality. And that's ultimately what I'm looking for in them. I don't care how cute you are. If we are not vibing, I can't get with your personality, it ain't going to go nowhere.
But you don't meet the personality
You
first.
don't, but
So
I'm
how
saying,
so how you
like,
going with
first
the
glance, would I give him a 7 or 8? No. But
okay, that's what
once,
we talking about.
you see his personality, I mean,
That's what we talking about at first glance. Now as you get to know the
but
person,
see
then their
this,
number can go up or go down. But at first sight, that's
but you got to think about it. She got a chance to know his personality before she saw
Mhm.
him.
Mm-hmm.
right.
And that's the
That's why
difference.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
and
the
that's why
difference.
I'm confused with her talking about how she got to get to know him. She already know him.
She
She
know him, but she don't know him. Like,
so with all that being said, when I said a 5, that's her first well, not her first time seeing him, but I'm saying he's a 5. You Johnny said he's a 3 or 4, and you said he's a what did you say he was
I mean,
again?
for personality wise, I give him 7.5.
Oh
Because that
Lord, have
he does have
mercy.
a great personality.
Oh,
I am
whatever.
hoping for the best for Chaz. But
Whatever.
first glance,
Personality.
I would probably give him a 5 or 6.
Okay, then what do you give Rick?
Rick,
hey, I didn't get to.
okay, now Rick is about the same way. I mean, Rick, first glance, I'd probably give him a 5.
Oh Lord.
But his personality, in a way, he seems like a very fun guy. Like, I'd have a ton of fun with Rick, I think. So that would, after I hang out with him, I'd probably raise that up to maybe a 6.
Rick, actually, in all honesty, if you really think about it, he does have a good personality,
Mhm.
and he's not horrible looking. It's his mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
attracted to teeth. So of course he would be a 3 or 4 for me, because if your teeth are
because of the
jacked
teeth.
up like that, I can't get past your mouth to
Hmm.
even appreciate anything else you bring into the table, because your mouth is all jacked up.
Hmm.
Okay, then my bad, Reese. What do you give Chaz? Because the mouth police, the two of y'all partners in the mouth
I
police.
Which one's
Did he
Chad?
call us some mouthpieces?
No, not you, Reese
Oh,
and Johnny, the mouth police. Because you know how she feel about Jaws.
Which one
oh,
is Chaz?
the one that got
Charlie.
married, Charlie, Chaz.
Chaz, the first time we was talking about.
Oh, I can't get past his height, so I can't see his teeth.
So I give him.
Girl.
I think he'll be a 4 or 5.
Okay.
Just
Personality
off
was
the
what
first
he
glance, and it is because he is like really. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I would have to see him standing beside me. So if he's my height at least, then okay. But if he's shorter than me, because I'm short, that'd be weird. So
Girl, he's got to be
I
like
think.
5'4", 5'5".
Oh shoot, CV 5'4", that would be a problem.
Well, that's taller than me.
He is shorter than me. It'd be 5'4", so that's a problem.
Yeah, he's right here. That just no.
I think
So
he
I
did
can't see
say.
his
Didn't
mouth
he say
shine.
his height? Did he say he was like 5'5"?
He ain't no
But you
5'9".
always lie
5'5".
about their heights when you're small.
Yeah, he is totally lying. Like, oh goodness gracious, he is lying. He is not 5'9".
No. I said 5'5".
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I thought. He looks like he's
I'm
5'5",
congested
5'4".
still, so like.
He says 5'5", but he might actually be 5'3". You got to cut off about 2 inches.
Mm.
See, you're being nice about it.
I think it's, and to get back to what you were saying, Sean, as far as her being, she knew what he looked like, but I think their chemistry is off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The chemistry is off for whatever reason. Like I said last week, could totally be because of his insecurity and he's like constantly like, kiss me, kiss me, kiss me. And
Yeah,
she
he
keeps giving
constantly
it
needs
to
it.
him, but it's just not enough.
with
And
his
he's whiny. And I think that's unattractive too. So I
but
think that's probably the turnoff, the whiny.
but I'm saying that that didn't just happen when they first met face to face at the wedding thing. That's been his whole personality. She knew that because he always used to say, well, in his one of the things that he was saying, uh, whatever it goes, confession. He was saying how to her about his height, he's short. Do you really, really want to still be with me? And then she kept on trying to tell him, yeah, but he always, doubted what if she really would be attracted to him. So this is not something that's new. So
Mhm.
this is the whole time she's known him. That's
Yeah,
been going on.
she's known. But
So
that's the thing. But they've known each other with
chemistry,
the glass in between them. Oh, I touched the glass. Oh, yes, it feels so romantic. But then you actually feel him touching you, and you're like, huh, it's not working.
right?
This
So it's
isn't
more of a
working.
physical thing. I don't think
Yeah.
Yeah,
chemistry
I
Yeah.
is
think
more
it's
physical.
physical.
Chemistry
She,
is physical.
I think
No,
she just got
chemistry
to
is
get
not
used to it.
physical.
So
Yeah,
chemistry.
chemistry, yes, it is.
No,
It's
no, no,
part
no,
a part of
no,
it is
no.
physical. It's a
A
mixture of
part of
physical
it is
and
physical.
Yeah.
emotional.
Right, a
Yeah.
part. So
Yeah.
it's not just physical. So that plays a part in it. Now,
But
the-
maybe
Yeah,
what
but
if
when
he
you say
can't
you don't
kiss?
have chemistry, that just means you're not like right now. She's not that chemistry ain't there, so she don't have that sexual part
right.
of.
So
Desire, yeah.
the physical
Well,
part is what
Oh my gosh! So we have to use your words. All right. So she ain't physically.
Okay, then.
This so that
I'm
it ain't good
Let me
because you're
write
gonna
down. Let
argue.
me
I don't
write
want to
down
argue.
Sean's definitions so I can make sure
So
I stick to
Yeah,
it.
just use physical.
because I'm pretty sure they couldn't kiss while he came and visit. What if
Right.
she kissed him and she was like, the kiss doesn't feel right, or maybe he's not a good kisser, which puts in the more doubt of, do I really want to sleep with him now because he can't really kiss very well.
Yeah. And then there's also that I don't want to use the word chemistry and upset Sean.
no,
When you
no. It's
kiss
not
Physical.
that.
somebody
It's
that
the fact that
you
if you're going to say chemistry, you can't say chemistry is just physical. Chemistry
Nobody
is
yeah,
said
it's
supposed
not
to be
just
chemistry. It's
physical.
just,
when
but
you
we didn't
first
say it's
yes,
just physical.
okay, go ahead.
It's all of it. Chemistry
Yeah,
is
it's
all
all
the big picture, but
yeah.
the physical part, I think, is what's missing for her because they
Yeah, and
never were physical
before,
up
yeah.
until they had their little first kiss in the parking lot. And she
Hmm.
was super excited, but maybe the way he keeps lapping at her, she's like, I don't like this. Maybe she's got
Right.
to just teach him how to kiss her so he knows what he needs to do
Yeah.
to get
And
her there.
then in all honesty, he's also not her type. So she's probably used to when she kisses a guy, she's attracted to that physical of that guy. So she feels something when she kisses them. But when she kissed him, she didn't feel it. Maybe his lips were cold and it turned her off. Right.
I literally think it's just like I think the chemistry's missing. Like I think she wants the good guy.
Hmm.
He's been the good guy. Like she told her boy, he's been there for her, probably financially. Well, he said he didn't give her that much, but still he gave her money financially. You know what I'm saying? He's been there for her, and she prayed for a good man, and then he shows up, and he really is. I think he legit is a good guy. That
Yeah. Because
so she's like, this is what I'm gonna do because I don't want to do what I normally do. Like she told, oh boy, she's like she's confused, but if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna keep getting the same results. So she
Right.
right.
wants to do the thing, be with that man that she knows is a good guy, and the chemistry probably will come because apparently they're still married. Like I seen on Facebook or Instagram, whatever it was. So eventually it must get there because they seem like they're still doing good. But it's I think it's okay that she don't have it yet. But as long as she don't go cheat on him,
Right.
like she needs to give it that chance first.
Yeah. And I
And
think
I
she
think she
get the
is, and
picture. Yeah.
I think she will. I mean, I just think it's just like, hold up, just wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in my space like 20 minutes and you won't let me breathe. Like, just
Mm-hmm.
back up, little man, back up.
Yeah.
You just had to throw in little man, huh?
Little man, you little bitty man.
She a little bit move. Come here. You
Yeah,
sit
like
down.
I agree,
You sit down now.
yeah, that's what she be doing, try to pick him up by the back of
Yo,
his like, come on, little man.
Look,
That's
she actually holding him up. Yes, sit down, sir.
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think and then the fact that she called that dude, because I know that I don't know if she called him or he called her, but I'm assuming she called him. And I get like talking to somebody familiar is nice, but she knows he wants her and she knows she's attracted to him. I think that's a bad. She don't
That
Yeah.
know.
was
Leave him
Yeah.
that
alone. Like,
wasn't
I don't
okay.
think he's a good friend. Like call one of your female friends. Like you're married.
Right.
Call
Call
one of
your
them.
your roommate's baby mama. Call her
Mhm.
and talk to her. Now, yeah,
Maybe
with what you guys said. I just think for her, she's thinking about, okay, if I change, what it is that I'm looking for, maybe I'll get some of the things that I'm looking for. Like, she mentioned a couple times she's never been married before, but Chaz was willing
Look at
to
this
marry
girl.
her.
This time, y'all.
And maybe she wants kids, maybe not. She's probably thinking, okay, Chaz will be a good baby daddy. You know, um, maybe she doesn't look at Aaron the same way. She looks at the bad things. And then I was kind of getting, well, she did also mention that Aaron was part of the reason that one of her arrests happened, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
she's
something like he left her stranded or something. He left her hanging and she had to take the hit
yeah. So
while
did.
she was already on parole or something.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't quite understand it, but it was something dealing that she had his stuff. I'm guessing drugs, but then she wasn't in jail for drugs, but that could be a violation of parole. Maybe that's
Yeah.
what it was. So I wouldn't want to deal with him anyway.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
maybe she dealt with him because, like you said, with the familiar, and then she just saw him and then she's feeling insecure. Maybe she was trying to see if he was going to talk about how good she looked or give her a boost in confidence or whatever. Who
Yeah.
knows why she called him. I wouldn't have called him though. Not when I'm sitting there telling my husband I need time to myself.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't have
And
been on
it's
the
your
phone with
wedding
another man.
day.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, sis, you could have waited a couple of days and did this conversation. If
She
this
could have
was
waited till her
Right.
husband left. He's
Yeah.
only gonna be there for a week. I didn't understand why he was packing up, but I thought he was still there for a week and then he left. So I didn't understand why he didn't save all that for her.
Yeah, that's what I was confused by. I was like, why is he packing up everything?
Maybe because he getting the vibe that she ain't gonna do nothing.
Maybe. But okay. I guess we can head up to the next couple. Anybody else has any other thoughts? Okay. So then we have Indy and Harry. Okay, so we find out that or we see that Indy, he's at his other sister's house, right? And so he has not seen Indy in over a week. Okay. And so he's been staying at his sister's Carla's house. And then Indy is staying at his other sister's Lydia's house. I forgot her name for a second. Okay, so she's been staying there. So my question is, you ain't seen this man in a week. Pack up and get out that woman's house. Why are you still there? A whole week that man has been gone, and y'all are supposed to be there together. He is violating his parole. So if he gets caught by his PO, he's gone anyway. Why are you still there? You and your baby. That's what I just don't understand. Okay, so we see Andy. She calls her psychic, which that was an interesting call to me. And so the psychic basically tells Andy that Harry has taken control of the situation and she needs to take her voice back. Right? And so then Andy's like, yeah. So let's see what really happened when she get off the phone with the psychic though. Okay. And so we see that Harry gets a call from his PO, and his PO is like, your sister Lydia has told me you have not been at the house. So you need to give me an address, or I am going to basically revoke your parole. And so Harry, he's like, boy, just get right. Just go on back over there to Lydia's house. Tell your PO that's where you're at. You need to do right by your sister, do right by your probation. You're just doing too much, bruh. And so, so Harry actually goes back to Lydia's house. Indy opens the door for him, and they go downstairs to the basement to have a talk. Which their talk, it actually ends up becoming an argument. And so, let me jump back a little bit for a second. Okay, so let's jump back to when Harry was talking to his sister Carla. He's sitting there talking to her like, yeah, Indy's almost 30 and na. And I know he's doing it because he knows his sister Carla has her opinions about Indy. So it's almost like he's looking for a co-signer to his foolishness. But my thing is, you knew she was almost 30. Heck, you are not too far from 30. So knock it off, Harry. Knock it off. What you're trying to do is build up your little team, your Harry rah team. That's what I felt like. Okay. So let's jump back. So now he's in the basement with Andy. They're kind of going back and forth. Both of them are trying to be the victim in the situation, which I don't necessarily feel like either one is, because Andy is complaining about Harry being out and was he with a woman, but you're sticking there, staying there. Why are you arguing with him about this when clearly that's not an issue for you? Because you're taking it. If it was an issue, you would have left. But then he's also trying to do reverse psychology on her. Just trying to make it seem like, well, you're just nagging all the time and la la la. Of course she's going to nag. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. I can see if you were doing what you're supposed to do, you're leaving the house to go to work and, you're doing what you're supposed to do, and she's still nagging. Now, that's something completely different, okay? And so then Indy did something that really set me off and completely turned me off to her. She starts saying to Harry, like, you haven't even been spending time with my daughter, Coco. You're supposed to be a father figure to her. It's like, wait 1 minute. First of all, your daughter really shouldn't know him. Your daughter shouldn't be living with him. Now, that's your child for you to spend time with. You can't push that off on someone else.
Right.
Now, if he wants to do it, that's another thing. But don't try to guilt trip him, because in reality, right now, what you're doing, you're not really standing up for your daughter. Like, oh, you're not doing it for my daughter. What you're doing is you are trying to make him feel guilty because he's not doing right by you. And you're wrong for that. You are wrong for that. I mean, I understand get into his butt if he's truly, like, he started hanging out with your daughter, started taking her to the zoo, knew your daughter for over a month or something. But don't do that just because y'all are into it and he's been gone for a week. It doesn't seem real to me. And so they end up actually yelling at each other. And Indy, she ends up walking away. She yells at Harry. I can't remember what she said. And as she's going up the stairs from the basement, he yells out, at least she, what did he say? At least she listens. Andy, pack your bag and go. Pack you and your daughter's bags and go home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what more this man needs to do or say to you. Okay, anyone else? Any thoughts on Indy and Harry?
Well, one of the things that really, I get why he's upset. Well, no, not really, because he's just acting like he's not even a man child, because he's not quite a man yet, but he's acting like a teenager. Like, that's pretty much what I get when I listen to his arguments. But the one thing, when she said, I moved across the country to be here with you, blah, 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 he should have said, I did not ask you to. You know what I'm saying? Because that was one of her things. Well, I did this for you. Why can't you just stay here with me?
Right.
He didn't ask you to move there. Never once did you ever hear him say, please come out here so we can start this family and be together. That's not what he said, and I just, so it's kind of weird to me why he won't throw that out there, because I would have been throwing that out there. I didn't ask you to be here.
Yeah. And then on top of that, this is not the first time you've said this. He knows that you moved out there to be with him. And this is still how he's choosing to act. So that lets you know a lot right there. He knows. He's fully aware.
And I mean, if you really think about their other arguments and things that he's already told her about, calm down, back off, blah, 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 you're pushing me too fast. She doesn't listen. So to get it thrown in your face that his side chick listens, and I don't know if she heard him or not. I think that, enough is enough. I'd be like, me and my daughter are out. And then I couldn't quite understand if his sister called the PO and told him that he wasn't reporting or he wasn't there. Because when the PO called him, he said, I think he said your sister called me. So his sister wants him out too, which I don't understand why you let him stay there if you didn't want him there in the first place. So he's feeling some kind of way. I don't know why he couldn't stay with the other one, because he seems to get along with Carla more than his sister.
And then did you catch when he was like, yeah, he's just ready to smoke? And she's like, yay, wakey bakey, yeah, wakey
Mhm.
bakey.
Yeah, he seems like he gets along with her way more. And
Hmm.
at least the PO told him, look, you got till the end of the day to figure out where you're living and update your address, because the PO is now letting him know, I'm not doing this with you anymore. You
Hmm.
better be where you're supposed to be. But Indy needs to leave. She
Yeah,
needs to go and go back home, call it a wash. You learned your lesson, and hopefully you won't do this again.
right. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. She needs to go home. Uh, Now, at first, I do agree with you about the whole Coco spending time with Coco, trying to throw it in his face. But on her defense, uh, he the one that said he was going to be a stepfather. He the one that said that he was going to wants to give this girl what he didn't have. So yeah, step up, you know, and throw it in his face, but don't throw it in his face, because to me that's what he claimed when he was going at his mama.
But
So
see, I totally get where you're coming from. But that's why you don't push your child into a man's life so quickly because he can change his mind.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with
And
you.
that's what Harry has done. He's
I
changed
agree
his
with you.
mind.
I agree
Yeah.
with you 100%. But no, I agree with you 95%. But that 5% is that he accepted it. He knew because she also had said, you talking about, which I do think she kind of listened because she was saying about you feel overwhelmed or whatever. You should have just told me not to come, something like that. You should have told me that you couldn't handle it. You should have told me that not to come. Uh, but he didn't say anything. And then I do agree too. He should have uh, do it in her face too. That I'm here. I didn't tell you to come here. And then seeing how I'm not spending time with you, why are you still here?
Why are you
You're
still
not
here? Yeah.
happy, so he should have came with that argument. But because he's just a little boy trying to be a man, and then wants to go back to being a boy because he wants to be feel like y'all not being considerate of my feelings and what I've gone through, and then talking about how he's taking uh, responsibility for his actions because he's the criminal and I done paid my retribution. No, you did your time for whatever that time that you did for the crime.
Yeah. So
But
it was, yeah, it was weird to me to hear him saying all these things because I'm like, wait a minute. How can you really sit here and say that nobody's taking your feelings into consideration when I feel like everybody has. Your sister's taking your feelings into consideration by allowing you to come into her home. And not only you, but bring your girlfriend and her child into her home. So your sister's been considerate. Andy has been considerate and stupid at the same time for your feelings. It's like everybody does think about your feelings, but because they're not thinking about them in the way that you want them to think about it. Like, do I agree with the sister if she calls a PO? Not necessarily because I don't feel like, yeah, he wasn't staying at your house, but is he doing something bad? We don't know. I think he's just hanging out with Terry. Um, so I feel like there are people who are considering him, but he doesn't see it. Now, if he was doing the right thing, he had a job, he's coming home every day, he's not waking and baking every day, he could say that. But I just feel like it was I could understand it if he was doing the right thing, but
right.
he's not.
hmm And then the wakey bakey because he's doing the pull out the blunt. Now I think they get along because he's not living with her.
Yeah.
So if he was to move in with her, then I think she probably have a different take on his actions and all that type of stuff. And uh, cause like the blunt, I was like, wouldn't that be a violation of your parole? So you on the camera smoking and lighting it up, saying that you're gonna light it up. Then later on in your confession, you're talking about how you and your freedom. It's all about my freedom. I got to go over there about my freedom. I ain't going to jail. But earlier, a couple of episodes ago, you're saying that you do what you want to do. You ain't scared to go to jail. So even in all that, you need to make up his mind what he wants to do. And like you said, he needs to go out and get a job and do all that he's supposed to be doing so that he can get out on his own. Because he, to me, yeah, he's still just a teenager. He don't know how to be an adult, and he don't know how to take responsibility because he said he don't apologize for nothing. So
Yeah, that was crazy.
yeah, because so he trying to make her feel he talking about he feel like she's trying to manipulate him into apologizing for something that he didn't do wrong. I was like, well, do you cheat on the woman? You went and go stay with another woman. You're leaving her in your sister's house. You know, all that stuff. Some things that you did. You know, and if you don't want the woman there, you know, tell her go home. You know, and then you can be done with that, and you can go do what you wants to do, seeing how you don't want that relationship because you're showing that you don't want it. But to
Right.
me, he wants her to break up with him. He
Yes.
wants her to
Yeah,
leave.
because he don't want to be the bad guy. So if
Right,
she leaves, he didn't make her move out there and then broke up with her.
right.
You know, that's what I think it is at the end of the day. He doesn't want to be that guy, even though he's being that guy to her right now.
Hmm.
So it's just he just hasn't broke up with her.
Hmm.
I mean, he
Yeah,
was off from the house for a whole week, and he walked in like he had just went out and picked up some milk. They said, "Huh?"
yeah.
But I don't know. I'm sorry, Reese. I accidentally cut you off there.
No, you good. I'm over him. I think that, like, I mean, what the psychic told her to me, that I think Harry loves her, but I don't think he's in love with her. And I think that I don't even know if he really really wants the other girl either. I almost think he wants both. Like he want to keep her around just in case, or be, you know what I'm saying? Like I think he's still confused on what he even wants as far as those relationships. He probably has more chemistry with the other one because if you're gonna have somebody naming your phone like that, there's something there. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I doubt Indy's
Oh,
number.
don't use that C word, Reese.
Hmm?
Set Sean off. I said that C word, chemistry.
Um, there's some physical. Um, he likes that physical.
Now,
Yeah. I mean, he didn't beg her to take a bath like he did Indy on the last episode. That's
Yeah.
something else too. Like, I'm sorry.
He just seems so disgusted with her. So I just don't understand why he don't tell you just go.
Yeah. It's probably like Sean said, he wants her to be the one to end it because it seemed like he pushes and pushes. And then, you remember when he was even telling his friend, he was like, why would you stay with somebody that cheat on you, blah, 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 but yet
Mhm.
you're still that guy. You're still that guy that's cheating. So it's like,
Right.
and then you see how she is about you and you still doing it. Like, I never understood how somebody could be like that because I don't know. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't have the mind capacity to like you know what I'm saying, manage all these different relationships and then because you know what I'm saying, you get in arguments and all this other stuff. I don't want to be arguing with two people. I don't want, like, to me it's just so much drama when you're trying to have more than one relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, like that argument, I agree she was trying to use Coco as a manipulation thing, in my opinion, that to make him feel like you really are wrong, and then not only to me but to Coco, which, like Sean said, there's that 5% of me that do feel like, yeah, you are wrong. Because yeah, he might not have, they never said if he asked her to come out there, but he also didn't tell her not to come out there because she came twice and he knew every time she was coming that she was coming. So it's not like she showed up and then, it was like, surprise, I'm here with the family. He knew she was coming. So at any time, if he really didn't feel like he could do it, he could have said no. And since he's been out, like, he's had plenty of times to say he can't do this. Like, he just tells everybody else how it's too hard. He love her, but it's hard or whatever. So tell her that, he's never told her. And then he's mad because they're arguing. But what would somebody do if you're out there with somebody and then they just keep disappearing on you at night? They cheating on you. They doing this. Granted, she's stupid and should just leave. However, you know, why would he think she's not gonna have an attitude? Why he think
Right.
she's not justified in being upset? And then he's like, nobody puts himself in his shoes. But I feel like you ain't put yourself in your sister's shoes. You ain't put yourself in Indy's shoes. So you probably need to put yourself in Terry's shoes because you was mad that she brought up the halfway house. But I'm like, but it ain't that old. You know what I mean? It ain't like she
Yeah,
got
she
lost her
supposed
job
to
10
love
years
her
ago.
job. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so I feel like he's selfish and he's just, I don't know, like y'all say, he's a kid, he's a boy child, and I don't know. Like he gets on my nerves when he keeps saying nobody's putting himself in his shoes. I think everybody understands you're young, you were in jail, you want some freedom. But when you're doing that, you live in your own house. That's when you get your freedom, like a kid, like you would tell a kid that's growing up. As long as you're in my house, you is my rules. You move out and you got your freedom. You don't want to be faithful. You want to go do what you do. Then don't have a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of things he just doing, and he expects everybody to be like, oh, he's just doing this because he was young and he was in jail, and he doesn't know. You know, he just wants his freedom. How much freedom is somebody supposed to give you? You don't show up for a week and then she's not supposed to be mad at you. Like I don't get Harry. So for me, I'll be glad when Indy just goes back, because I mean we know she's not staying. So I'll be glad when she goes back to Maryland and move on, because he ain't the one. And I feel like that Terry chick is stupid too, because I think as soon as Indy's out the picture, he'll find another person, because I don't think he's a faithful person.
Yeah.
So she kind of good that Indy's in the picture, because at least she knows
Who?
where he at and all that stuff. Because once Indy's out the picture, now you're gonna be the one sitting there like, where's he at now? What is he doing now?
Yeah. Has he moved a new chick into his sister's house? You know, that's.
I think the sister gonna be like, no, ain't nobody else moving in.
Oh.
But at
Yeah.
least Indy was helping with the cleaning, so.
Yeah, I'll give her that. And something about those sisters, they keep a clean house, no matter who in there. They keep it clean. Yeah. So our last, well, not our last couple, but our next couple was Rick and Radine. Okay. I could be wrong with this, but I think Radine is not into Rick like that. I think, you know, well, we'll go through and get down to that. Okay, so we see the scene starts. Rick is decorating his friend's backyard. So his friend has a pool and a hot tub in his backyard. We see he's putting drinks on ice, which kind of confused me because I could have sworn Radine doesn't drink, but he was putting drinks on ice. Like there was a wine bottle, there were some beers. Um, and then, so Radine, we see Radine, she says that Rick has sent her an address, but he's not telling her what's going on, and that he knows she doesn't like surprises. Um, and so she arrives, and he he has her cover up her eyes, you know, and then, you know, when they get in the backyard, reveals what's going on. So she, you know, you could tell she was touched by it. She says nobody has romanticized her before. So I was I was trying to think. I was like, is romanticize a word? I was like, it fits what she's saying, but I don't know if it's a real word or not. I don't know. Let me know. Is romanticize a real word? Alrighty. And so he had brought like quite a few swimsuits for her to choose from. So she goes in the house, she puts on the swimsuit, but you know, she lets us know that, you know, she's insecure, that she's gonna be too pale in the swimsuit because she's been in prison, hasn't had a teen or whatever. And so she comes out, you can tell he likes what he sees. And they get into the hot tub. So he has brought some snacks for them to eat on. And, you know, she's like, because now, you know, she doesn't eat meat anymore. So she's like, please forgive me for eating meat or whatever, you know. And so while they are in the hot tub, you know, Rick is trying to kiss on her and stuff. And every time he goes at her, she's like, yeah, she's flinching. Like she doesn't want to be touched. Which I kind of felt bad because you can tell Rick really likes her and he's trying. But it's like Rick realized that's not what she wants. She doesn't want this physical touch from you, right? And so he goes on, he keeps on, you know, trying to kiss on her. He eventually gets to her feet and he tries to suck her toes. And she's like, ew, don't do that. And he tells her, I told you I was going to kiss on every part of your body. I don't know why, when he said that, it just kind of made, I was like, I think because she was running from him so much, you know, for him to say that, I was kind of like, yeah. And so, yeah. And so he continues to be rubbing on her, and it looks like she just wants to jump out of the hot tub on him. And so then Radine says this line. She says that she likes Rick, and Rick has nice eyes. Um,
I know where you're going with this.
yeah, a nice smile, and that, but he's not fit for an older guy. Right? That's what she says. Now I know where you thought I was going with this, Rissy, but
Yeah, I
I,
know.
I wasn't
thought
gonna
you
mess with it.
I thought you was going
I'll let
somewhere
you
else.
and Johnny have it. I'll let you and Johnny have that. Yeah, but she did say he has a nice smile. Now, maybe he does, and I let other things preoccupy my eyesight when he's smiling, and I just haven't necessarily seen it. Okay, and so y'all know how I just get grossed out by things. So we see Rick take his trunks off and he's spinning them like a helicopter over his head. And I was just grossed out. I was like, this is not your hot tub. Like, you are nasty right now. You're in your friend's hot tub, butt naked, sucking on toes, telling her you want to suck on other things. I'm like, that's not your hot tub. Y'all are nasty. Well, Rick, you are nasty right now. You're being real nasty. I hope you clean out your friend's hot tub when y'all are done. I hope you do. Yeah, and so we see Rick has gone back home and he's talking to his roommate Robin. And Robin, is expressing her concerns. And she's like, yeah, if my boyfriend had been in prison for 4 years, when he got out, we'd be doing, she was doing all these hand gestures for sex, which I was just like, okay, Robin, I really didn't see that. Hand gestures and
She did the old school one.
on her body. I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to see it, Robin. You could have knocked that off. And so then we see Radine. And so Radine, she looks visibly upset. She says she hasn't talked to Kay. Something's going on with Kay where she went to a county jail and then now I guess she's back at the prison, but she still hasn't heard from her. And so we see Radine call the prison or the jail, and she's trying to get information on Kay. And so when she calls in, she's like, I'm trying to get some information on my wife. So then, of course, the producers are going to try to probe some more. And, she's just being coy about it. Like, yeah, that's not a nickname. Nobody knows. Oh, all right. Y'all tell me what you thought of Rick and Radine.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so sick of Radine. I ain't gonna lie. I'm so sick of her. Like, yeah, I'm sick of her. So now we know she's married. That's not cool. Like,
right.
You not only tell this man that you got a girlfriend and he's got to deal with it, you got a wife, a whole wife. So this man wants to date you, and you know what I'm saying? He sleeps with you and commits adultery. You ain't even giving him no kind of options. Like, you know what I'm saying? You taking the option away from him for him to even do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a pet peeve of mine, is when married people don't admit that they're married. Like, if you want to cheat and do whatever, do you, boo-boo. But you need to give the person that you're cheating with the opportunity to know that they're going to sleep with a married person. You don't take that away from somebody, because somebody, you know what I'm saying, might really like you, and then what? So I feel like if you married, that's a pet peeve. You ain't got to walk around like, hey, y'all, I'm married over here.
Right.
But if I'm married and going to go sleep with somebody,
if you're intimate with that person deserves to know. Now, even if you're separated, like, I get it. If you're separated, I know when I was separated, I dated. That's a completely different thing. But if you're living in the house with that person,
the
other person needs to know.
But even if you separated, I think they still should know, because they can't.
Yeah, I think you should know, but I'm not gonna say hold up your life until a divorce gets.
No. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But you definitely should let a person know, so that they know, like, hey, there could be potential issues down the road. If I'm gonna date you because you're separated and you going through a divorce or whatever.
Right.
But people who are just married, you know what I'm saying, like her, she's not. And it makes sense why a girl call her dad now. That is her dad. That's her father-in-law. Yeah, and so I don't know if her parents know that. No, she said nobody knows. So that like completely turned me off because of all the things that she did. I looked at the word romanticize. I guess it is a real word. It's just like about making something that's not real seem real, and it's like fantasizing, romanticizing, but making something
better. It's like an ideology.
Yeah.
You should say nobody has romanced me, maybe.
Yeah, I think that would have probably actually been a better word. But either way, when you see the effort this man is putting, and you know what I'm saying, because that was actually really sweet. It was gross what he was doing, the whole taking it, and then you remember he talked about some gay chick saw his stuff and said it's the prettiest thing she ever seen. he was just doing the most. But let me go backwards because it was one part that I laughed and I was like, "What the?" When he ate the flower and she was like,
Yeah.
"Eat the rose."
Yeah, but
He's like,
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, why is he eating roses?
and then she
And then
said,
I was, yeah, then I took it a little too far. I was like, was that rose sitting in that water? And you, oh,
She was the rose sitting on the edge where y'all stepping and people step and stuff. I'm like, that's
yeah,
nasty. Anyways, when you think about it, like if you didn't take that rose off, like straight out the bag and eat it, that's nasty.
yeah,
But the fact that when he said they're edible, then she tried, she was like,
yeah.
and threw it
She's like,
down.
yeah.
I was like, are those really edible roses or are roses edible? I guess you can eat most flowers probably, but do you really eat roses petals? That was weird. So I don't
You know what?
understand.
I've seen stuff being like infused with roses, so maybe there's a certain element of it you can.
Yeah.
I
I feel
don't
like
know.
it still would probably taste like a flower. Like I don't think it would taste good, but you know what I'm saying? Rose scented things are always delicious or they smell good and I've had things that have a rose flavor kind of. Yeah. I don't know. But that was weird to me. That part was funny. Um
Yeah.
but overall, like when she admitted that she was married, that threw me off. I'm like, all the stuff that this
Yeah.
dude did for you.
And so
And here
I'm
you
almost wondering when did this marriage happen? Because before when she had her break from the halfway house, she was willing to be kissy a little bit more with
go.
Rick. And it's
Hmm.
like since this last time she went in, that's when everything has been cut off. And then I was also wondering, I was like, I don't know that in each other. But if she's out at the halfway house, maybe they could get married because she's kind of free. Maybe that's when it happened. That's what I'm almost thinking. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. Can inmates get married to each other? Anybody
No.
know? Just let me know. Hmm.
That is a good question though. Like when did they get married? Because
Yeah.
yeah, like all of a sudden she's extra like don't touch me, and it
Hmm.
sucks because I feel like he's really trying, and
Yeah.
I like Rick. I we talked about the smile and all that stuff. She said good qualities. Like I said, he's not like just but ugly or nothing like that. He just it's to me it is for him. It's the mouth. Like maybe he does have a pretty smile, like you said. I can't just see it, but it's like this man's willing to do everything, and then what I'm saying, you do like him, and it's like, but you want Kay. Just tell him that, and then now you're married, you need to tell him because that's definitely like I wouldn't do nothing else for this chick. As a matter of fact, like
Oh no. She
I don't know,
wouldn't.
I might would have to lay hands on her because I'd be like, look, you didn't play me
I
too
feel
much.
you.
Like she might push this man, and that's why I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
like literally leave him alone, let him go. But
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I got. Like I'm over Kay because when they showed that and she was all that's not a nickname. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't stand
I didn't
it.
even like how she was behaving with it.
And then when she said the whole time she was in the hot tub, she thinking about Kay. I'm like, nobody's ever done this stuff for you. Nobody's ever treated you like
Yeah.
that.
When have you
And
been in the hot tub with Kay? I don't know.
that's what I'm saying. Nobody's done this for you ever. Somebody did this super nice thing, and all you can think about is Kay. I was like, miss me. This chick is stupid. Like I'm so over her. Like I'm done with her. I don't even want to talk about that raggedy tooth chick. I can't stand her.
Okay. Any other thoughts on Rick and Radine that Johnny and Sean love?
Oh, okay. Uh, yeah, I thought the whole thing was dirty that she's married because that question I was asking myself too is if inmates not allowed to have sex, then how could they get married? And when did they get married? I didn't even think about the halfway house when she was in the halfway house. That could have happened then. Went over there, but then again, if she's in the halfway house, oh well, yeah, she could leave and go, come and go. So,
Well, also the proxy thing. Because who was it? Somebody got married in proxy. Oh, Courtney and
oh
her
yeah,
boyfriend.
yeah, because it could have did that too. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that right there. But if you go all the way back to the first time that she came out the halfway house, for that furlough. And when she got in the car, she had a ring on her finger. And I was wondering, where did she get that
Hmm.
ring from? So he should have asked her then, because with me, when I see a woman that I might be attracted to, first thing I look is at the wedding hand, so it'd be the left hand. And if there's a ring on that finger, then I know not to go mess with that woman at all, because that's just me. So since she got in the car, that's what the first thing he should have noticed, that she had a ring, and then he should have probably said, "Hey, where do you get that ring from? Because I didn't give it to you." So and what's the purpose of that ring? Because I do know some women do wear a wedding band or engagement ring on that finger to try to stop people from talking to them because they don't want to be bothered. And so she could have said that was the reason, whatever. But he should have asked if he had noticed it, because I would have asked. Then also, I agree about she should have told him, because I'm pretty sure she was married when she went to the hot tub. So she should have said something then. And because she talking about driving up that she don't like surprises, but she done surprised this man already about the girlfriend. Now we
Right.
have to surprise him again about the wife. Uh,
And
by
about
him.
living with her parents.
Uh-huh. So yeah, so she's doing all this here. So come clean, tell him everything up front, and so that he can move on. But I think she don't wants to lose him because he gives her money, and she probably take that money and give it to her wife. So and all building a life for him, for her and her wife, off of his money. So, but since she don't like the guy, because see, I don't. She can't say that she love him. Now she can say what she do, she love him. But to me, either you gonna be with someone, you love that person you with. Now you ain't gonna be loving all these different people, and the fact that you was having relations, as the old folks say, because I'm old. Since you're having relations with this man and thinking about your wife, to me that was crazy. When she, well, before it's the wife thing, when she said I was thinking about Kay, to me, I was like, well, most people when they're married and they have an affair, they don't be thinking about their spouse while they have an affair, or when they're having sex with their spouse, they probably not thinking about uh, when they're having an affair, they're not thinking about their spouse while they're sleeping with the person they have an affair with. So for her to be talking about, I was thinking about my Kay the whole time. I was like, that's crazy. Just wait till Kay come out and be with Kay instead of sleeping with this sick guy and he's a substitute for Kay. So so let him go. Allow him to move on with his life, and you move on with your life. And the fact that the roommate, uh, the gestures that she was making, I was like, yeah, that's the hand gestures that the kids was doing the last time she probably had sex. So, so I thought that was funny, hilarious. But that's all I got.
I think y'all have covered them enough. She's pitiful. She needs to be honest about her situation. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. Don't take away my option. And at the rate they're going, that'll eventually be rape anyway. So she's been raping what's his face? Because of the no consent, because the consent is that he is dealing with the married woman. Learn these new consent rules, people. Starting to getting these extra charges, and that's violation of your parole.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just needs to be honest and tell him he's trying to have kids with her and have this settled life, and that's
He
just
can't
not
have
going
that.
to
He already
happen.
has it with someone else.
Right. So that's all I have on that.
Okay. So our next couple was Martell and Kayla, which they could have left their scene out. We had one scene with them. It was short. It was insignificant. Whatever. Okay. So Kayla and Martell. So we find out that Martell is being released from prison the day that this was filmed. All right. And so Kayla is late picking him up. And we see that Martell is actually standing out in the cold waiting for her. So when she arrives, and she's kind of giggly with it. So it would have annoyed me. Granted, I know I'm the queen of late, but you think certain events you would make an effort to be on time for? like he's getting out of prison, you think you would make the effort to make sure that you're on time to pick him up. And then you definitely don't be all giggly like when you pick him up. That's going to set the person off. The person is probably already going to be angry. That's going to also set them off. To me, these two, I'm not liking them as a couple. I feel like they got a lot of toxic traits about them. And so he's upset, but I'm going to say I can understand why he was upset, especially when she was giggly about it. And she was just kind of passive about it. So she says they get into the car together. Somehow she's got him to drive. Now, see, that wouldn't have been me. I would have still been mad, and I don't like to drive. Y'all all know that. So if I'm mad, I'm definitely not driving. You don't want me to drive. And so she's talking to him in the car, kind of trying to have small talk with him. And she's like, yeah, I want to go get something to eat. And she's asking him, well, do you want to go somewhere where it's breakfast food or it's a little bit of everything or whatever? And he's like, no, I want to go get my hair cut. Now, also, mind you, at the beginning of the episode, I swear I don't know what Martell did to her, but she talks about sex with this man a lot. So she was talking about, yeah, she can't wait to have sex with him. And then this is going to be makeup sex and then sex and sex. And I'm just like, girl, knock it off. You are over sexualizing this man. Right. Okay. And so Martell, he drives to his barbershop and he gets out the car. I don't know what was said between them, which kind of confused me as far as her sitting in the car. I don't know if he asked her to sit in the car or whether he only told it to producers, because I did hear him saying to the producers, oh, no, she's staying in the car. But whatever that was, it set her off. She actually ended up driving off and leaving him there. I'm just like, was it? And then she said, the disrespect needs to stop. I'm tired of it. Both of y'all disrespect each other. It's not a one-way street. You disrespect him, he disrespects you. With the whole cleaning thing, do I understand why she was upset by him saying in front of the cameras that her house was dirty? Not necessarily, because we all know in the Black community, that's one of the worst insults you can get, is that your house is dirty. Like, that's just not cool. But I mean, both of them, I feel like both of them have done things to each other and said things to each other where I won't solely blame Martell. But I don't know. You guys tell me, what do you think? Kayla and Martell this week.
Well, on that one, I do blame Martell because he started it and he's going tick for tat. Yes, she can be mature and let him slide, but I wouldn't because, like you said, with the house being clean 30 and all other stuff. Because she being late, yeah, it's a pet peeve of mine that I tease people that do be late. I talk about people that be late because especially how you're supposed to be there and you can plan and you still be late. But stuff happens sometimes. Then that was an important moment because she know how he is. So she should have tried her best to maybe set 4-5 alarms just so she can get there in the time that matter to where she don't have to worry about him tripping on her being late. But once they got there, she was a little goofy about it, but she could apologize, and I think she did, but I don't think he didn't want to.
Well, no, she was like, did you freeze? Which I feel like that was disrespectful. It's cold outside. It's just the fact that it's cold, period.
Huh? Out there. They in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
That's what it
could have been one of our
It gets cold out here.
Please.
It gets cold. What? We had a very cold winter this year.
What, 63?
No, it was like 20s.
When you said 63, were you talking about the age or the temperature?
I was talking about the temperature because 20 is still not that cold. But anyway, it wasn't 20 out there because the way he was dressed. So no, he didn't freeze over.
He had on like a sweatsuit, so he was cold.
Oh, come on. Well, once he got in the car and they was gonna get to the house, she was gonna warm him up anyways. So he shouldn't have to worry about being cold.
We know that because she's trying to throw her cat a hammock every chance she can.
Every chance she get. She had 13 years waiting on him. Well, 12, because one year she said she was active. So 12 years waiting on him. But the fact that she was trying to move on and he didn't want to let it go and he was frustrated. But to me, he should have told her that he had plans on getting his haircut at 11 o'clock. She didn't know nothing about that. So if she would have been there on time, he still would have been like, okay, let me go get my haircut. But so he should have told her about that. The late thing, yes, I can agree with him being upset about being late. And then if then I was him, I'd have flipped it and been like, yeah, I'm gonna get my haircut. If you'd have came on time, we would have been able to spend more time together before I went and got my haircut. But because you was late, I need to get my haircut. And no, you can sit in the car. I don't need you to come in. But he wasn't like that. He was angry the whole time, upset, and no, she gonna sit in the car. She ain't coming in. And I don't blame her for saying, "Oh, you're not gonna tell me what to do in my car," and get in the car and take off. There's something else about that thing. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Because the disrespectful, it goes both ways. I agree with you on that. But to me, it's mostly him, and he needs to what you call it. Yeah, he just out of prison. Yeah, you're trying to adapt, and you got to change your attitude and all that type of stuff. Blah blah blah. But he been hard on her the whole time. Yeah. So yeah. It's him. It's him.
I
Okay.
can't stand them as a couple. I can't stand them as a couple. And I don't really know and why she still puts up with it. Because the moment that whole thing with my kitchen, he would have been out anyway. I wouldn't have dealt with him anymore. He's a straight up asshole. I would have dealt with him 10 years ago. I wouldn't deal with him now.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I was about to say, you did say that's the type of men you're
It
attracted
is the type of dude, but he's not attractive to me. So asshole would fit, but I still wouldn't be past his physical because I'm not attracted to him physically anyway.
Oh, you don't like
But
that chocolate milk dad head of his?
no.
He
He's got
looks like
some
he's
weirdness
taller
going on
now.
with his face. He's not
He,
attractive to me.
he looks like he's taller now.
Oh, he's tall,
Yeah.
but he ain't attractive to me in his face. No, I'm sorry. I'm very vain and I'm very picky. And that's okay. And I will be fine by myself. I have my moments, but for the most part, I'm okay. But with him, he is just, ugh. I can't stand him. I really can't stand him. When he comes on the screen, I just want to turn, but I know I have to watch because I have to give my commentary on this situation. He's horrible. He's disrespectful. And I just can't. There's nothing. I can understand that she was late. And yeah, that can be annoying. But it's not like you communicated you had stuff you had to do. Because she thought in her whole sense that they were spending the day together since he got out. He's already pretty much telling her off the bat, I'm not spending my time with you. You're finna do this and we're finna do this. No, really, you're finna do this and just drive me where I need to go today. And yeah, he wouldn't have drove my car. Just none of it. I don't know why she likes it so much. I don't know why she deals with it when she doesn't have to. I don't know why she stayed faithful to him all those years, except for whatever one time she slept with somebody else. I can't wait for him to find out that she did sleep with somebody else. But I think he'll be disrespectful about that as
I think
well.
he would leave her alone if he finds
Yeah,
out.
I think he would leave
No,
her alone, and I want
I,
him to leave her alone because she
I
doesn't
think he's
deserve
gonna
that.
tell her. I think he's gonna tell her, "Oh wow, you slept with someone, but since I've been in the halfway house, I slept with 5 people. Now we
I
even."
know. Or he'll say, I slept with some men too.
Uh
Oh, you
oh.
slept with a
Oh
man? So
God,
did I.
we
Uh
jumped off
oh.
the deep end, didn't we? Where did that come from? My
He's just, ugh.
Yeah.
He is,
God.
ugh. I just don't, ugh, 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 ugh. I hate they picked this couple. I hate our Black representation. I just, ugh, 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 ugh. And she was right leaving him where she left him. And I hope she don't go back. I would not go back. And I'd call the parole officer and say, hey, he needs to find a different place to parole because this ain't working for me. I'm done.
But I don't think she is because for some reason she likes the sex and she likes talking about it and trying to give it to him.
It can't be that good. And on top of that, what else did she say? Oh, and then she spent all that money on cleaning supplies last week. Nah, you gotta go, bro, and I'm gonna go get my money back.
But see, my thing is, if we think about it, we saw them tell her the total, but did we see her actually purchase those cleaning supplies? I hope she didn't. I hope she didn't.
Yeah, she pulled out her card.
Yeah, we saw her pull out the card, but we never saw them swipe it and then her leaving with all the stuff. So yeah, because I'm like, sis, hit me up. I'll tell you how to get everything you need for $20. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm with the popular opinion on this one. Is him.
You think it's cartel?
Yes. So I'm with them.
Okay. Well, you have with me because I feel like it's both of them. I feel like both of them be doing.
Yeah. So being a person who oversleeps and can't get up and ain't on time for nothing, I understand. Sometimes, like, if it's something super important, like I have a hard time sleeping because I'm so scared to oversleep. So that probably would have been. I probably would
Yeah,
have been
that's
able to
me.
make it there, only
Yeah.
because, you know, if I'm like, this is I'm finna get me some, blah blah blah. I probably wouldn't have slept good and still woke up on time for that. However, I understand. Like, it ain't like she was just lollygagging around. Like, she got up early and was lollygagging and then was late. She actually overslept. I know she did her makeup, but I think because of her skin, she insecure to not have the makeup. So, and I understand that too, because I used to have bad acne too. So, I feel like the only thing that she did that was disrespectful was the cold comment, because when he was like, she like, did you freeze? And then he was like, you tell me whatever, and she touched him. I think that was unnecessary. I really do feel like she didn't, because it's, to me, it's making light of the fact that you did leave him out in the cold. And even though Sean says 20 ain't cold, I would be frozen. Like, I would turn into an icicle if I stood outside in 20-degree weather. So, excuse me, Mr. Snowman over there, but I think that's cold. 20 degrees.
Yeah, it's cold to me. 50's cold to me. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in Florida, so 60s is cold to me. But I understand that, you know, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say 20s is not cold, so that's crazy to me. But I don't know. I just feel like it wasn't really much to their situation other than him being disrespectful. She made the one comment, but like, okay, get over it. She's here now. You're gonna get picked up. I understand the frustration and the attitude initially, but then get over it. Instead, he held on to it and just kept complaining. And like Sean said, had you told her when she was coming to pick you up, hey, I want to get a haircut, then maybe she would have grabbed a snack, or she'd have been like, okay, we'll go get your haircut, then we'll go eat. But when you don't know and you telling somebody like, hey, this is the plan, we'll get something to eat and then we'll do whatever, then you should have, you know what I'm saying? How you gonna expect her to be okay with you all of a sudden getting a phone call from your barber and it's like, oh, I got to move it back to 11:30 now because she was late? You never even told her, so she didn't even know you had something going on that you needed to get to. So I don't know. I feel like he caused unnecessary drama in that situation, because that barbershop scene, I would have left him too. But we know, like, this is what they do. They storm off. So there's no way that these two can make it, because y'all can't even spend a day together without an argument. And then somebody always storms off. And I'm like, y'all don't talk it out. And when y'all do talk, y'all can't talk to each other because one is yelling and one is like hard-headed and ain't gonna admit he's wrong. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like they're too toxic. They may be the most toxic ones right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're very toxic.
Yeah.
And that cold comment, that's asshole talk, because that's how you talk to an asshole.
You said
is that what it is? Look,
that's how you talk to an asshole.
I know
when he's
y'all
being
heard
an ass, you bring back the ass, and that's just how it goes.
Speak of Dutch Americans and how they speak Dutchish.
Yeah.
So Johnny, what is that language called?
What?
When assholes talk, or one asshole is talking to another.
I don't know. Asshole speak.
Well, I do think that when she got out the car and kind of giggled, like, if I know I'm running late and I'm picking somebody up, I'm not gonna laugh at the fact that I'm late.
I think she could have just said, you know, I apologize. I don't even think she really apologized, to be honest.
No, she didn't.
Then I can understand why he was upset. I get it. Being cold ain't fun, da da da. But he's just, I just don't like him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he ain't appreciative of nothing.
He's not appreciative of shit, because he sure as hell didn't tell her thank you even though you're late. Like, that's what you could have said. Thanks, but you're late. I'm cold. No, all he did was, as soon as he got in that car, was bitch.
Yep.
That's what he is. He's a bitch. And I just don't deal with bitch ass Negroes.
Look, Johnny has been on one today. Huh?
He angers her, man. He angers her.
Oh, it's just, he's just
Yeah.
annoying.
He's like overly cocky, and
Yeah, and then
that's
he
what
knows
he's
how to.
controlling.
Yeah, he knows how to push her buttons.
Mhm.
You know, but
I'm telling y'all, this man is crazy because he's controlling. Somebody tells you because you got an attitude, okay, you can stay in the car. Where the kid at? Where the kid?
Yeah.
Last time I checked, she was a grown woman. I'm like, are you serious?
But
You
I
gotta
think
tell
he
the
met her as a kid, right? Didn't he meet her as like a teenager?
I think so.
So it's kind of like he's letting her. He's still showing you what he thinks you are.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
don't think you're a
No,
woman.
this she probably was 20. He was 24.
No,
But
No,
they-
can't
before
be.
we're- yeah,
Can't be.
because she's 33 and he's 37.
oh, okay.
Well, 14 years, right? 15.
13 years. That she said they've been dating for 13 years. Now, if they've known each other for 14 years, then yeah, 19, 23. But
Okay.
that's not no big age gap to where he be acting like she's a kid.
Wait, something else, if you realize they are very comfortable with being toxic to each other and being disrespectful to each other. So I think this is something that they do all the time. And I just wish that they would realize this is toxic what y'all are doing. And you are comfortable with being so toxic and disrespectful to each other. I don't think this just started when he got out the other day because he's too comfortable. It just comes out so easily. Yeah.
I think he's just a jerk.
I think he's just an asshole.
Yeah, I think he's an asshole.
And he's
yeah.
controlling, I think.
He's an ungrateful asshole.
I'm telling you, his comments, the fact that you're gonna say we going to the barbershop and you don't care, and then you're you know what I'm saying, like everything that he does is like this is what we're gonna do, and that's it. You have no say in nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
even his apologies are insincere. Because even when was it last week's episode? Because I know I didn't get to talk about them. I haven't talked about them in a couple weeks, I'm sure, because I have had to leave or whatever. But I think it was even in one of the previous episodes where she was like, he apologized. Bitch, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. There's no freaking way. He couldn't even apologize to you in person. Why would he apologize to you over the phone? He did not apologize.
Maybe we told her like, hey, this don't look good. Just say he apologized.
Like he did not apologize. Like stop making. Well, that's one of the things I'm working on. So I'm working on that in myself. But stop making excuses for him. There was no reason for him to be so rude to you when he walked into your house for the first day. There was no reason for him to be an ass to you when you came and picked him up late, because at least you came and picked him up. Because all your family, all your mama, your niece, your nephew, whoever the hell else ain't there picking you up. And if it was so important that you had to be picked up on time, then maybe you should have stressed that to her. Because 15, 20 minutes late, that's not a big deal.
Oh, no, she was
2 hours late.
20 minutes late. They said she was an hour late.
No. She said she had to be there at 10:30. She said it was.
She said she had to be there at 10:30, and she said it's already like 20 minutes late. So she was like, I won't make it there until it was 11:30. It was something. She said another time. I had to rewind. I'm like, wait a minute. What?
Well, okay, I'll give him an hour. But even still, what about where's his phone? Didn't he have a phone?
Yeah, he was on the phone.
He has a phone.
Yeah, so why didn't he call and ask her what's going on, or call and make sure she was up? Hey, just making sure you up. We're leaving on time.
Yeah.
But you know what? If he had called her, she wouldn't have known, because do you remember she was walking around the house? She was like, "Where's my phone?" And she was going in and out of rooms and stuff. I'm like, girl.
And how long did she have to wait with no underwear on when he got out of jail? How long did she sit there waiting for him? Like 4 hours?
Yeah.
With no undies?
Yeah.
And she was complaining about being cold. So if anybody should have been cold, that baby should have been cold.
That was during the summer. That's why she wasn't complaining. You don't understand, Sean. It gets cold out here. I know
about Atlanta. I'm from New Orleans, so I know about the little semi-cold weather.
Nah, it's not semi-cold anymore. Tell them that global warming that messed up our cold.
So it get cold out here sometimes.
It's freezing out
And
here.
it shouldn't even be that way.
Wait till you
Like,
get into the
even-
teens, then you can complain about being cold.
What?
The teens and the single digits, then you can talk about being cold.
It'd be
what he
20
had to
out
stand
here
on.
and the wind chill is 7.
Look, and then it's crazy because he's from New Orleans,
one
so
week-
it's not like he grew up in the cold and he's
For 1
used
week,
to it. And you know,
No,
you
we
at
had
the
a
full
really
week, it's a
cold
little
1 week.
different.
It probably is the way the weather is down south. It probably was cold like that at 7:00 in the morning, and then 12:00 is 90 degrees.
I am telling
So don't
you,
even give me all
Sean,
that
we had a
information.
really cold winter this year. I swore it was like
He
I
just
felt like I've moved
Yes.
somewhere
He
different.
refuses to believe it,
felt
Johnny.
like-
Do you see his face?
you
Did you see his face? He was
Felt
like,
like
I'm calling you out, and I'm
I am
over
originally
there
from
making
Texas.
faces.
I grew up with cold, wet, with the South cold, but this ain't been South cold. It's been Midwestern cold. It's cold.
But I mean, in reality, there was a bunch of cold fronts that hit this side. So, you know what I mean? Like, this coast has gotten hit, like, a lot with these.
I'm
cold
really
fronts.
not sure what you're talking about. English, please. I don't know what you mean.
Oh, maybe I'm cussing too much.
No, that was up there for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Thank you for watching, but elaborate. I'm not sure what you mean by English.
Oh.
It
Got
could be
rid of
my
it.
language. Maybe I'm cussing too much.
oh, so
I
what?
mean, there's other shows that don't have any cussing on it. I mean, they can go over there if they like. But Chance and Taylor. All right, what's the next couple?
Save them for last.
Chance and Taylor. So
Save them for last.
the episode starts Chance looking for an engagement ring, as if should be on his mind right now. Right. So he's at this jewelry store. He says he has 500. It was 550 to spend, right? To spend on the rings, and then he also wants to get some promise rings for her daughters. These two, I think the thing that just bothers me is there's just so many things that is just not appropriate that he does, and I think I'm just getting tired of watching him do inappropriate things. And Taylor doesn't say anything. She thinks it's cute. She thinks it's funny. She thinks it's sweet, and it's not. You have known her daughter. You have been around her daughters for a couple of weeks, and you want to propose to her and give her daughters promise rings? Like that's I don't know. To me, that's just not appropriate. That's not appropriate. But it's whatever. She allows that kind of behavior. So his friend that he has taken with him is kind of questioning him. Are you ready for this? And you've done this before. Are you sure about this? And something that bothers me about Chance, I don't know if y'all ever noticed, but he be throwing in little comments where it kind of seems like he doesn't think Taylor is the prettiest. And that's okay if you don't think your spouse is just the prettiest, but you should have. I don't understand where all these comments are. There's other women out there, other beautiful women and la la la. Because he did say something like that. He was like, yeah, there's tons of beautiful women out there in the world, but I want her. Like, what the hell? I don't know. And then, so we see, not Taylor, Chance is arriving back at the house, and we see that Taylor is moaning in pain. And so, she ends up laying down on the bed. She's trying to get some relief. She's rolling around on the bed. And Chance is like, do you think you're pregnant? I was like, I hope. Like, girl, you let this man come home, shoot up the club and get you pregnant. I hope not, but whatever. All right. And so she says she doesn't think she is. So he takes her to the hospital. And so they actually test her for pregnancy. It comes back negative. And then, they show her like in the hospital, them checking her out and stuff, and she's constantly like touching her side and seeing that her side is hurting her. And so Chance tells us that they're talking about transferring her to another hospital because they do see she has an infection in her pelvic area. And then in the end, Taylor comes onto the screen and says that the issue with her was that they had rough sex, and it had caused her to have this infection or pain or whatever. My thing is, I don't know. I think there's a big difference. Granted, I have one child. I from the one child. Painful sex and being pregnant is two totally different feelings. So I remember the first time that Chance had brought it up, she was like, I don't think so, but I guess it's a possibility I could be. I feel like if I'm having pain from, like I said, painful sex, I know that feeling is not the same feeling that you feel when you're pregnant. That's what I'm just trying to say. So I don't know. What do you guys think of Taylor and Chance this week?
So for me, if he's serious about marrying her and stuff, I actually thought it was cute that he got the little girl's rings too. It might be too much, you know what I mean? But I thought it was cute. When he said he was doing that, because he said he wanted to promise to them that he's gonna be, a father figure or a good stepdad, whatever the case may be. I actually thought it was really cute.
This is my issue with it. Okay, he said he's making a promise to them that he's going to do all of these XYZ ABC. What if 6 months down the line you don't want Taylor anymore and you decide to leave? You promised her girls.
Yeah,
that's where my issue comes in. It's like you're doing this, but you don't. I don't know. I just
it's kind of like ending them. Like you
Mhm.
you grown a bond with that little girl, knowing that. You know what I'm saying? And even in person, when he is around her, he was playing with her and stuff before they start having all the, when he first seen her and stuff.
Mhm.
And it's, so I think because Chance wants like a family. Now, I'm not a fan of Chance at all by any means.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a cute gesture. I hope that if he does get the chance to like ask her to marry him or whatever and give those girls those rings, I really do hope he keep his word, because that probably is gonna hurt them little girls. You know what I mean? Like, but I did think it was a cute gesture. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it'd be cute if maybe they later down the road when they've been together longer or something.
Yeah. Or maybe if he gave them teddy bears, like, okay, so I'm giving your mom something, I want to give you guys something, but I just feel like, and then his significance behind it, like, oh, I'm going to always be there for them. How do you truly know when you've only been in the house with them for a few weeks? You're still getting to know her.
Yeah.
Well, that's just like with marriage. You take a chance.
Yeah, you are taking a chance, but I just feel
Yeah,
like when you are trying to blend a family and you're making those type of
yeah.
commitments to these children,
That's what
now
I'm saying.
absolutely do I think that you need to treat these kids like your own? Absolutely. Has he been treating those kids like his own? And that's my issue. I mean, just some of the things that he's like, she had to step up. One of the kids had to step up and defend their mom to her. Did I necessarily agree with that? No, because it's not a child's place. But they have watched you put their mom in a position where they felt like they had to step up. So if you really want to make a commitment to these children, do better, not buy gifts and promise that you're going to do better. Actually, do better. That's all that I'm saying with that.
Yeah, I mean, and if he really is going to do better, because I feel like he keeps realizing that his anger and all that stuff is what he brought out of jail. That's a good step. Like Harry, quit talking about it and do it. Hate to keep saying it too, but these two both have some similar immature ways about that mentality they brought out of prison.
Yeah.
And I feel like if he's serious, then I'm not mad at the gesture. I thought it was cute. I mean, he could have got him little necklaces or something. I don't know, but I thought it was cute. It was cute. As far as the whole thing, I'm with you. When he said, "Could you be pregnant?" I'm like, I don't know that if your side is hurting like that. To me, the first thing that came to my mind was like gallbladder, appendix, something like that.
I thought ectopic pregnancy.
Oh, okay. And that's what I was thinking. Like, if it is a pregnancy, then this is terrible. Because I mean,
yeah. But usually when you have rough sex, you don't feel it on this side. That's what I was confused by. It's down below, down there.
I guess because she got an infection.
Yeah, and maybe they were using a foreign object too. Maybe, I don't know.
Could be.
I think they swapped out parts.
Yeah, I think he did it wrong.
I think he went
from one to the other, and he went
one to the other, and then
you can only go one to the other. Yeah, he went. Yeah, I think instead of going from the front door to the back door, he went from the back door to the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should wash it first.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can see
Especially if that ain't something that happens a lot. You know what I mean? Like you ain't making movies, so you ain't a professional at that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
that.
y'all better
Yeah. And
be
then
quick.
they cut in the movies. They'll cut so they can go watch that up or
Yeah,
whatever.
You hope they do.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
But I mean that's a good possibility that that's what happened because the way they made it sound was like
Yeah.
it came from the yeah.
Uh,
Like
I
she hinted at it without saying it. So yeah, I think went from the back door to the front door. I didn't know, like, I mean, it would be an infection that would hurt way up there, but I mean, hey, the body is the body.
yeah.
It's a good thing they figured that out because that would have sucked if she went always to another hospital just for them to say the same thing or to say that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I wouldn't have thought pregnancy either. I would have been more concerned. For me, I would have been like, oh, it's pain right here. So I'd have been thinking like what is it, appendix or
Yeah.
one of those things that
A
always
gallbladder. Yeah.
gallbladder, yeah, when you get that sharp pain, it's like, uh-oh. I was also thinking kidney stones too. I was like, I hope she ain't got kidney
Yeah. I thought kidney stones because she kept saying her back.
stones. Mm-hmm. And so she probably lucky she did go because I'm like, if it seemed like it was her side and her back, I'm like, how fast was that mess spreading? Like y'all did some real crazy stuff. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens when he does try to propose or whatever if he does. And then I'm glad that Bobby came back and helped him out because that means, she ain't completely wrote him off. So I'm glad Bobby still, was able to come and do that too because she kept the kids for her.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all I had. Chances. Oh, and then like the friend, like I guess the friend really knows him. So I'm like, I don't know. Hopefully he's serious about her. Like I do think he's kind of like, not, I ain't gonna say like, oh girl, how she want a good guy finally or whatever, but I feel like Taylor is a good girl. Like she just seems so innocent and like a good person. I think, excuse me, a good person. So hopefully, he don't do her wrong. But I think maybe that's what she's different from his other girlfriends too. So.
All right, Mr.
Oh,
Sean.
and you know what? One comment, because I forgot when we was talking about Rick and Radine, when she made a comment about his body, I'm like, he is an older guy. Like, you got to understand, everybody's bodies get, you know what I'm saying? Her body ain't gonna look the same as it does now when she's like, how old is he? 50s, 40s, 50s?
I think something like that.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to at least like, you knew he was an old man when you dated him.
Yeah.
All this time. So don't be talking about the body or whatever, because that comment actually to me could have been left out. Like you ain't even need to say all that. Like that annoyed me too. Because I mean, yeah, he's an older guy. He's gonna have a older guy body. Some older guys do be in the gym like that, but you knew he wasn't when you met him. So
Right.
I mean, your body ain't, her body's not great. She's just skinny. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it ain't like she came out with no abs and muscles. Like you just skinny. That's all.
Yeah, she hasn't had the effects of motherhood yet.
Mm-mm.
So,
but I mean, even still, like she ain't in the gym either. So well, don't come out. She's like I said, she's just skinny. It ain't like she's in shape. She's just skinny.
Yeah, it's weird. Like when you're learning all that stuff as you get older. Like as much as I work out now, I would never, ever, ever, ever had to do that younger. And even still, as much as I do now, it's definitely slow. Never, it's not anywhere where I want to be yet, but I still have to just stay at it because I'm older. So your body just changes as you get older. It's just something you got to deal with.
Yeah. All right, Sean, what are your thoughts? You've been quiet over there.
I really don't have much to say about them. Him buying the daughters the rings and trying to make that promise to them too. I don't see anything wrong with that because of the fact that it's a blending family. He's coming in, and he's willing to marry, and he's letting the kids know too that I'm here, gonna be here for the mother, but I'm also here for you all too. Unlike Harry, who's just all talk, but at least to me, he's showing something. Now, I agree there is a possibility that 6 months down the line, he might decide that, oh, this is not what I want, and he up and leave, and that's going to hurt those kids. But to me, it's just a chance you got to take that comes along with, even if there was no kids and she was to get married, there could be 6 months down the road.
Yeah, now my issue is like him and her, they are grown. They are absolutely grown. So even if they met one day and they would have married next, that's not my issue. My issue is when you're dragging your children into your fast tracked relationship.
But it's
That's
kind of like the kids don't have any, they have nowhere to go. So they're going to have to be dragged in because she can't leave the kids and go and do their
but
thing.
but this is what I'm saying. You can have a relationship with your man without your children having to be involved so quickly and involved into certain aspects of it. That's
Uh-huh.
what I'm thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
But one thing, if he marries her, it is like Sean said, it's gonna still. If he marries her and 6 months later, because he is kind of, I feel like he's still he's pretty close with the girls because they play with him and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like he is involved with them, and if he's involved with them like he is now, 6 months down the road, he leaves, they're gonna be hurt anyways, whether they got those rings or not. I get what you're saying.
They
The ring
will,
is a promise.
huh?
I get you saying the ring is a promise. So if they leave, you still promised me though.
Yeah, you promise these children something in a fast-paced relationship. That's just
Yeah.
my issue with it.
Still.
Kind of same thing with Indy. I feel like I'm not saying I get it. She has a child, but she is trying to be on this fast-paced relationship with Harry. I don't think you need to drag your children along for that.
hmm Well,
That's
I think,
my issue is coming in at.
yeah, comparing the two, I don't think she's dragging her kids like Indy because she didn't tell the kids to call him Papa Daddy or Daddy Papa or, all that type of stuff.
Right.
Just pretty much told me that he was
I mean,
in jail.
she didn't, but what I feel like what my issue with her is she
Uh-huh.
has them around someone who's being toxic. So she is kind of dragging those kids in because those kids shouldn't be seeing all of this. And then,
Mhm.
like in that previous episode, like her daughter was sitting on his lap. He had only been there for like 2 weeks or something like that, and he was rubbing on her legs. I'm not saying for 1 minute that he's a child molester, but that's inappropriate. You shouldn't be teaching your daughter that it's okay to sit on his lap that you barely know and let him rub on your legs. That's just my opinion.
Gotcha. The what else was? Oh, the whole thing in the hospital. He to me he's showing that he cared about her because I saw where he was really concerned and he was crying. Tears about to
Wait, was the tears real? That was my issue with it. I forgot to bring up the tears. I didn't feel like the tears were real. I felt like he was pushing out some crocodile tears.
Oh, I thought
I
that
was like, I
was
want to feel. I didn't feel like the tears were real.
Uh,
Even when he was saying baby, it was so weird. Like he was like, "That's my baby." I'm like,
yeah, that's because you're probably used to seeing him as the person that he is.
now I'm used to a man like, "That's my baby right there." And it's
Uh,
like, "That was my baby."
Because he was like getting emotional. I felt like he didn't really know. Like, I think he was really getting scared that something was serious. Like, okay, she if she's not pregnant, then what's really going on? Like, she gonna have surgery? Like I think he was crying for real. Like he was getting nervous.
yeah.
and plus, too, how they kept on doing throughout the show, they kept on showing that over and over again. The break, the commercial leading up to it, that probably
Yeah,
took away some of your
yeah.
emotional shock. So yeah, so. But yeah, other than that, I really don't have anything. Yeah, it's good that Bobby's back in the picture. That Bobby was willing to go there and take care of the kids. Well, go there and let the kids run around the house and do what they do while she's in the hospital. So and two, I was wondering the pregnancy thing. Yeah, is it like that kind of hurt his feelings that she wasn't pregnant? I was glad that she was not pregnant because they already got the 3 kids and then you're gonna bring in the baby, and who knows? He probably would take all the attention and give it to the baby because that's his kid, and then those 3 babies be left out. Don't I think that's the type of person he is based off of what I've seen of him. But who knows? He probably wouldn't be that way. He probably love all 4 kids equally. But I think he would have been more all about his child instead of those 3. So, so with that, I'm kind of glad that she was not pregnant. So
Yeah, they need more time.
yeah,
Yeah.
and because she talking about at least wait till we get married. I was like, well, then that's good. If you're gonna wait till you get married, make sure y'all wear condoms and all you be on the field and do all the stuff necessary, not to uh, get pregnant. So
Right.
yeah, and then the infection thing. So uh, when it's talking about rough sex, I wasn't thinking about back door, front door.
Oh, they kind of made a comment that made it seem like because she said they. What did she? I forgot what she said. She made a comment that made it sound like they was doing that.
Okay. So I wonder, you know, was it his idea to go back door? Or was it her idea to
You
go back?
know,
I think they just some
I
freaks together. Them two, I
yeah,
think they both some
I
freaks.
hope that
Uh,
came out a different way because I'm sorry if my man just got out of jail and
yeah,
then he's initiating that.
Oh,
It
that's
makes me
yeah.
feel that's not right.
That's why I said, was it his
Yeah.
idea to go back door?
Yeah, he's gonna have to answer some questions. I'm be like, have you done this before? When was the last time you did it? When?
I know, right?
Say who? Tell me the name. I wouldn't even
uh,
say tell me her name. Tell me the name.
oh, you gonna say, tell me the name?
Yes.
that's probably look. He got into the front door by accident. He was trying to stay in the back door. Accidentally went to the front door. Like, oops. He just had to go along with it. He's like, that's not where I want to be.
So, so yeah, that's all I got about them.
Okay. And so our last couple, Lacey and Antoine. I saw your face. I saw your face, girl. All right, so we see that Lacey has taken Antoine up to a lookout. So it looks like they're like probably on a mountain or whatever, and they're looking down over like the port or whatever. And Antoine says he's not in the mood to be there. He says it's cold. He wants to go. So Lacey starts basically complaining that Antoine is complaining, and she says he's ungrateful. And she makes a comment as she's driving the car. She looked so evil when she made it. She was like, yeah, the nice guy behind the wall. I was
Wait,
like,
she said what?
she said the nice guy behind the wall, like insinuating that he was the nice guy behind the wall. Right. So that's what she said. And then so they go back home, and Lacey's still upset because she feels like he's being ungrateful. He doesn't see how good he has it. And Antoine confronts her about the letter that she wrote. He lets her know that he knows she sent him a letter trying to set him up. He actually has the letters with him. And he was like, I knew your handwriting. So then he walked around the house and he found something that had her handwriting on it and shows us that it's the same handwriting. Right. And so they kind of bicker a little bit, and she heads back to the bedroom because he says he'd rather be on the couch or whatever. And so she grabs a pillow from the bedroom and walks back into the living room and like throws it at him. And he says that's fine. It's more comfortable on the couch anyway. Ooh, these two right here. Okay. So we see that Antoine, he actually ends up sleeping on the couch, and they talk in the morning. Like he goes in the bedroom and actually talks to her. And she lets Antoine know that she wants him to meet her sister that same day. Antoine tells her no, he wants to go hang out with his former best friend, and he wants her to drive him over there. Right. And so you can tell that Lacey's disappointed in that or whatever. And she makes a comment, well, you just came in this bedroom because you wanted me to take you to your friend's house. That's the only reason why you came back here. And basically pretty much that's where the scene kind of ended at. Okay, so my thoughts for them real quick. um Antoine has his issues. He do, and I'm not trying to say that he doesn't, but Lacey's very controlling. And it's like she wants to control what they do, how they do it, and how he reacts to things. And then she calls herself doing these surprises for him. And my issue with a surprise is, if you're going to do a surprise, do things that that person might have really wanted to do. If you pick something up out of the air that you want to do and you want to surprise me with it, and I'm supposed to be happy about it, I'm not going to be. That's not a surprise for me. That was a surprise for you. That actually technically wasn't even a surprise for you. It was just something you wanted to do, but you played it off as a surprise to me. Um, some of the things like Antoine, he didn't ask her to go get him a car. That was a bright idea that she had on her own. I mean, let me not say bright idea because it wasn't a bright idea. It wasn't a smart idea to buy a car with a car payment for a man that doesn't have a job. But that's what you were willing to do. These are things that she keeps throwing out there, trying to act like she's this nice person that is just doing all of these nice things, but you're doing it's coming off as very much controlling to me. Not that she's just this nice giving person. So, but I don't know, y'all. Let me know. Maybe I'll see it differently once I hear you guys tell me what's going on. But she just, like I said, comes off as very controlling to me. But like I said, he has issues too. Okay, any thoughts from anybody?
Yeah, she is funny, and I think that's why she doesn't want his mom around, because she wants to be his mom.
Mhm.
So she really does treat him like a kid. I don't understand the dynamic of their relationship or what it is she wants. And he can go and see other people. Like, it's not just you and him. The whole car thing last week, I really didn't even understand why she did that. I don't know if she did that because they got stranded, but
Well,
I wasn't sure if that was part of the plan. I was
yeah, that
totally
was part of the
confused
plan. That's where they were headed to when the tire.
when the car tire. Yeah, so I was like, why would you take this man to go get a car if you knew you didn't want him to have a car in his name? And are you in a place to where you can afford to even pay for 2 cars, I guess? If he did allow that to happen, because he didn't want that to happen. He wanted the car in his name. And she was like, no, that's not wise.
Well,
Why not?
the issue was he wanted her to put it in her name, and she wanted him to put it in his name. But my thing is, unless you're going to co-sign for him, he doesn't have a job, so who's going to approve him?
No, I thought he wanted it in his name, and she said that wasn't wise.
Well,
She wanted it in her name because if something happened, she had control over the car.
I
No,
thought
she
the
said
second
she
one
wanted it in his name, yeah. So that if something happens, like if
ain't
he's
on her.
drugs, it ain't on her. Yeah.
Oh, I
But
misunderstood that. I thought she wanted it in her name and not the other way around. Like he was
no,
wanting it to get it.
because they were saying she'd have the cosign, and she was like, she didn't want to do that.
Then why would she bring him to a car place? If you weren't going to co-sign and you weren't going to get the car, what the hell did you bring him to a car lot for?
Well, she was saying she wanted him to have some responsibilities. I'm like, it's not up to you to force him.
Again, she's wanting to be his mother. That's why she don't want the mom in the picture, because she wants to be able to tell him what to do and control his life. And his mom isn't going to allow that. Because how long has he been out? Only a few days, right?
Mm-hmm.
No more than 3.
Huh?
No more than 3 days.
No more than 3 days. So, of course, he hasn't been able to see his mom because she has COVID.
Yeah.
And now he's finally wanting to go see another friend of his. It's just, their relationship's weird. I don't see it lasting. I think I honestly think once he does get his freedom, in the sense that he does have a car, he does have a job, he's able to do whatever on his own, he's not going to stay with her. I think he will go elsewhere. And because he even made the comment that if he were cheating, she wouldn't know anyway.
Yeah, he would never admit it.
Yeah. So.
What do you say? Deny.
Deny.
Name of the episode today.
Too funny. You done,
Right.
Johnny?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. So I'm now that you mentioned that she wants to be his mom, that's exactly who she's acting like. Like she's his mom, not his girlfriend.
Right.
I agree. Like if you knew you couldn't co-sign or you didn't want to co-sign and you're not gonna buy him the car, then obviously fresh out of jail with no money, or if he do have money, it's probably not enough to be trying to get a car. Because I know he said he had something to put down on it.
Yeah, because he got his stimulus check.
Yeah. But in order to finally, to pay off the rest, they needed a loan, which he would need a cosigner. So if you're not willing to put yourself in that position, which I don't blame her at all for not wanting to, but I wouldn't take a man that I know can't do it to a dealership and be like, go and test drive what you want. And, like, I'm going to help him, because if you're not planning on it, then, wait till he get some more money or get a job to where he can put it in his name only.
Yeah.
And then,
so,
okay.
Oh no, I was gonna say I agree with you on that. On I can understand her not wanting to put the car in his name, but my only thing was when she was like, "I don't want to put it in my name because what if something happens?" What do you mean? What if something happens? He's in your home. So if you're worried about something happening, but you're okay with him being in your home and in your bed, that was where my confusion came from. But
Well, see, I
I
took that if something happened
in the
as if we
car.
split up. That's how I took. Well, I knew
Oh,
like
that's
it could also be like if something happened, you get pulled over, you got drugs in the car, you got this, you doing, you go back to your old lifestyle, and then that car is involved, and my name's on it too. That crossed my mind, but I also thought about, well, if we break up, now that car is in my name and your name, and what's gonna happen? Because that's why I said for a boyfriend girlfriend, unless you like married, I wouldn't co-sign just because you know what I'm saying. And if you break up, then what? You got to
mm,
figure all that out. And then if you co-sign and somebody doesn't make the payments, then it's back on you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot to the co-signing that I
yeah.
feel like she's smart not to do it yet. Like maybe down the road, if they stay together or things get better, then I could see her being crazy and doing it. But right now, I wouldn't either because they ain't getting along. And then I agree with Nene on the fact that like you took him places that you didn't even, to me, obviously you said y'all laugh, y'all joke, y'all talked about life and all this stuff, but it seemed like you don't really know what he likes. She does
Right.
not know. So it's like if he had attitude, why would he want to go somewhere romantic? Like, I don't know. I feel like maybe a woman might fall for it, be like, oh, this was sweet. But I don't see that from, what I'm saying, a man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you gonna take me to look at what you want to do, you know what I'm saying, to do, like what we supposed to be doing here, because I'm irritated with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was dumb. And then the letter, that was hilarious. I'm glad he called her out on it. um it would have been nice if there was like a little more to it, like he had really responded. I feel like it would have been juicier had they did it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
think if he had fought that, pretended to fall for it,
know.
and then maybe at the end have her name at the end.
Hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
needed this laugh, whatever her name is.
Yeah, and I'm like, and then when she came and threw the covers at him and all that stuff, he's like, it's more comfortable out here anyways. I was like,
Yeah, that was
decent.
messed up. But I was like,
Decent.
but you've been meddling with him,
Yeah,
So
yeah. Like honestly, I think once he showed her the letter, his his attitude trumped hers at that point. Like now you know why I'm irritated with you when you do stupid stuff or you keep doing little things, because not only, you know what I'm saying, you ain't gave me a chance for you to not trust me. You making these comments of like what happened with the car and this and that. Like I feel like she says a lot of things that make it seem like they're not gonna stay together or that he gonna end up back in jail or in trouble. It's like when you keep putting that on somebody, I feel like you'll push them to just be like, you know what, forget it. This is what you think of me anyway, so I'm gonna do all this stuff. So I feel like she's not doing a good job of helping somebody like transition. And like he said,
yeah,
because in his confessional too, it almost like he was in tears and he was saying she doesn't understand, like, he was in solitary confinement so much. And then he also was in or he was in his mom's house. So he's never really had that chance to like be on his own. He ain't been in a long-term relationship. So I think she do need to give him a little bit more of a chance. Like, you know what I'm saying, loosen the leash just a little bit. Cause I'm like, I feel like she just gonna push him away.
yeah, she is.
Cause
All right,
she's
Sean.
too mommy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
I'm done.
she's too aggressive.
Mm.
Sean. I know they say where are the aggressive ones? Oh, she's aggressive. So what do
Mhm.
you think of Lacey and Antoine? Because I was
Yeah.
about to say Shane and Lacey. I had to catch myself.
Them two
Why
ain't
is it the
together.
Lacey's on this show are always a hot mess?
Yeah, she is something else. I agree that she is wants to be the mom, wants to be the lover, wants to have everything in control. Uh,
Mm,
but she kept on talking about you so ungrateful, you so ungrateful. And I'm like, wow, she do sound like a parent, telling a kid you just ungrateful for all that I've done for you. And then I was like, what has she done? Yeah, you picked him up from prison, but y'all supposed to be in a relationship. Uh, the car thing, you got his hopes up real high, that he's gonna get a car, but you didn't give him the car, get him the car. So
Mhm.
right.
I'll be upset too. You know, I wants to go to Dave and Bustin and you take me to Chuck E. Cheese. I'm gonna be upset with you. I'm
Mhm.
not gonna be feeling that. And then try to take him to a romantic place to get him what in the mood, but that's not working.
Look, she's had him out in the cold all day. Remember, they went golfing, then they had to walk to the car lot. Then now
Uh-huh.
you got him up on this lookout mountain or whatever, out in the cold again. He's cold.
Right.
Let him warm up. Look, Michaela should have been there. Girl, is it cold? Like, what is going on?
Touch him, he is frozen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
I know. I'm not the nicest person when I'm cold like that. You done had me
Uh-huh.
dragging me out in the cold all day,
And then the
walking around
tired,
doing stuff you want to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that add the tiredness to it because, like you said, you done walk to the car dealership, which
Mhm.
means they had to walk back from the car dealership
Right.
because they ain't had no car, you know. So, uh, which too, in my mind, that'd have been a perfect setup. Walk all the way up to the car dealership, and I'm thinking, all right, she pretend like we got a flat tire, so I'm going to get me a brand new car, and then I'm all happy and stuff. And then you bring my hopes down, yeah. So yeah, all of that stuff that she talking about, he's ungrateful about. I was like, oh, come on now, you didn't really do anything. Now, if you talking about the fact that he get to stay in your house, uh, to me, yeah, that's nice and dandy, but it's not like he didn't have anywhere to go because he could have went to his mom's house, before knowing that she had COVID. He could have just pro-rolled at her house. So it's not like you did him a favor on that. Also, that's part of the relationship that you want him to be in. Now, when he did get the letter and throw it in her face, and she talking about, oh, he's just trying to throw the letter in my face because he's trying to use this as a get out of jail card because of he's so ungrateful and he don't want to apologize for his behavior. But I was like the whole time she had the behavior, and he should have waited and used the card that card later when he did do something wrong, and then he could have used it like, well, just like the reason why I did cheat is because you thought I was going to cheat. So,
He said deny, 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 even if he get caught. So that wouldn't work.
well, no, he could have just still had it in there. He still could have
Yeah,
had this
he
one.
wouldn't say if I cheated. He'd be like, I didn't even cheat, and here's the letter. That's what he would have had to say.
Well, yeah, there you go, right there. He can say that. I'm talking about if
You
he
know what?
cheated with another
Maybe,
woman.
Huh?
yeah, maybe
If
that
he
was
was
something he was doing, was holding on to that letter as an ace in a hole in case he ever did something. And he could bring that up and throw that in her face.
right, yeah, and then
Yeah.
could be like in the denying part, use the letter and say, well, hey, when you had sent me this letter, I didn't respond to it, so I was faithful here. So why would you think that I would cheat? So he could have used
Yeah.
that, in his card, in his little thing.
Mhm.
But to me, uh, as you always saying, that once he do get his independence, I think he's going to step out,
As he should.
and
I feel this way. I feel
and she, the main person that told her about the son was the mom, said that you don't know my son. My son is vicious,
a
he's
savage.
ruthless, a savage.
He
Yeah,
was
so
a
he's a
savage,
savage.
yeah.
So, and the fact that she's acting the way she's acting in these 2 days, you know, it might bring that mindset of him out, as you all were saying earlier. It's going to force him to go that way because he's going to be like, oh, she don't trust me anyway, and she's taking me on these places I don't want to go. She's really not concerned about me. So as soon as I get a chance, I'm gonna go somewhere else and I'm going to party. Or he feels like he's locked up with her, and then once he get that freedom, he's gonna go out and do his little thing. And it's gonna be all her fault, but she's gonna blame him, because she's the one that pushed him to it. Now, yeah, he can be grown and be responsible and not do it and talk to her, and they can probably work things out as adults. But to me, she's not that type of person that you can work with based off of just 2 days of actually being together. And
Yeah.
then too, while I was watching it, I was thinking that because she had her first marriage, and I was like, wow, I wonder if she was like that in her first marriage. So
Yeah, she probably was.
yeah,
When she said she was married for like 20 years, wasn't she?
yeah, for a long time, yeah. So
I would
So
say 20 years and no kids. That's weird.
mhm.
I mean, unless you can't have them. That's what I would think. She couldn't have them or something.
Yeah. I mean, that's a possibility. But I know she does talk about wanting to have kids with Antoine. Or maybe he couldn't have them. Maybe.
Oh yeah. Maybe
Or he probably didn't want him, and then that's the reason why
Yeah.
she like, okay, I want out of this marriage because I'm getting older and I would like to have a child. But
But
yeah.
you know,
uh,
oh, it's just weird. Like I feel like she's older than 38 because she acts like
Yeah.
really old.
Well, that's why she was friends with the mom.
Yeah,
She's
makes she
old
act older than
acting.
her age.
How
Yeah.
old is the mom? She's like in her 40s, right? Wasn't she like 40 something?
I don't remember how old they said she was. I mean, she could have had Antoine pretty young, so yeah, there's it's
Ain't he
very
like 27 or something?
He's
yeah.
27. Well, you could say the youngest she could have him is
14.
13, I guess. So that would still put her at 40. But I think his mom is older than that though. I think she
Yeah.
was mid to late 40s.
Yeah, because I mean, even if she had him at what 20,
That would put her at 47.
yeah, so possibility there. But you know something about Lacey that also she does a lot of like faces and smirks that just look plain out evil. Like when she found out his mom had COVID, and then when she was in the car and she was mad driving back from the mountain, she was like, "Oh, the nice guy behind the wall." I'm like, what you? You got me concerned right now, Lacey.
Yeah, she's different.
Yeah. I say with people that are very controlling, they don't see their own faults.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
with
like me, who
what's
don't
his
see their own faults.
um
Oh, Lacey,
Macy and I forgot his
Michaela.
name. Yeah, Michaela. Yeah. Um,
No, there was somebody else. Oh, I
who else
can't.
is that? What's her
Oh
face?
boy.
Marcel.
Martell.
Marcel. That's who I was thinking about. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, shoot, Harry
Damn
too.
sure don't see his
Yeah. Oh,
flaws.
and Harry
Yeah.
definitely.
Harry.
Harry
Yeah.
does. And Ray did.
Everything. Yeah. Because
She
all they
learned
want to be in
herself.
control and they want it their way, but they're not concerned about other people.
Mm-mm.
And then when they do something wrong, oh, well, you know,
Poor
but
Rick let Rick do the slightest thing wrong. Ray they gonna read him down. But then
Yes.
she would just be a complete walking contradiction.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
And you know, and that makes me mad too with her being married, the way she treating him and acting like you're being so immature and this and that. No, chick, you're immature because you ain't even told this man you married. He got a right to act like that. He's upset because he thought y'all was together.
Right.
And now you're gonna say you married? Man, I'm like, you gonna make that man go back to jail.
No, that's right.
Mhm. Well, that's the end of her cash cow.
Yeah.
I hope she told him soon and he stopped doing stuff. Cause I mean, even the swimsuits. I'm like, you bought all them
He
swimsuits.
bought all of them because he didn't
Yeah.
know which one she'd like. Like that's the kind you do want a man like that who doesn't know you quite enough to know exactly what your style of swimsuit is. So he went and bought every single set. Now, hopefully, he kept the receipt and kept the tag so he could return the others. But
Yeah.
the thought was there. I
Yeah.
was very thoughtful
No,
of him.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
no,
Not
it,
she
it is.
wasn't.
And then usually, like a lot of places won't let you return the swimsuit. So that's money he spent on you
he
for real,
spent,
girl.
yeah.
Yeah.
But at least he took the opportunity to do that, and that's
Yeah.
just
The fact that
so
he did
thoughtful.
something romantic for her like that, you know?
And that's weird because it's not so much romantic; it's more thoughtful. The rose petals were romantic, and then that was weird. He was eating them like they were chips
Yeah, we said
They
about
were
that.
chips. They edible.
He said
They
that.
had
She's
been
like,
floating
why'd you eat
in
the
hot
flowers?
tub.
They're edible.
in the hot tub. Yeah, they were floating around on the hot tub and on the
I know he just
ground.
like,
I would have just had a bag of them sitting on the side if I wanted
and
to
then he
eat
had
them.
all
I
them
wouldn't be
snacks.
eating what was in the water.
You had all them
Yeah,
snacks. Why are
he
you
had all
eating
those snacks he could have ate on. They
Yeah.
could have
edible?
cracker. He could have put a
Well,
cracker in
see,
his mouth.
yeah, because the snacks thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, because how you had mentioned that she was supposed to give up wine. Was she supposed to give up sugar and sweets and all
Yeah.
that stuff too?
But she said that too. She said, "Oh, forgive me for eating this meat," and then she was like, "Oh, and sweets." She did say that. She mentioned.
Oh, okay. So I guess she gonna say that when she overlaps. She go, "Oh, forgive me for taking these
Oh,
drugs again."
yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I would just kind of grossed out that he was sucking on her feet. I just.
Well, if a guy eat rose petals, then feet ain't nothing.
I think my issue was with it because I want to make it clear to our watchers. I'm not saying you can't lick on somebody's toes, but I should hope that their toes were clean. But she just walked across the ground to get into
Yeah.
But they
It
think
worked
the
out.
spa is clean. The spa cleaned their feet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The spa clean the germs.
No, 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 no. See, no. Next is gonna be getting into the pool, talking about that's a bath. No,
That is a bath.
that's not a bath. That is not a bath.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put my laugh back on.
No, that's not a bath.
I mean, maybe your girl was thinking that when he did it. Like, oh, duh, I walked on the ground.
Yeah.
And, maybe that's why she was so gross too. Gross.
Well, she let him kiss
Gross,
him,
'cause
so
she
she wasn't
used to
too
her
gross.
wife.
Well, I
Probably
mean, at that point, it
jail.
was already in his mouth. Like, well, this is what you want to do and get sick. I guess that's what you do.
No, she was probably like, no, she was like, ugh, I'm in
Yeah.
water. It's not gel floor. The gel floor is cleaner.
I know. And then as she let him do it, she like, look at Kay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, could have did everything in there. Kay could have been scuba diving down in the water. Should have been. Oh, that's so cute, Kay.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I think it was disgusting her because
Kay
she
ate the roses. She'd have been like, oh, are they edible? Let
Are
me
they
try
edible?
one.
I'll eat one.
You got somebody eat something they don't want to. She was like, she wouldn't have been all. That was funny.
Yeah, because she immediately spit it out. I was like,
Yeah, she's like, It's not
Mhm.
I
was
really just
hilarious.
don't see how she can eat sweets though. Like, I mean, as soon as I don't see how her teeth don't hurt. I just,
I know.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying.
you know,
like,
back in the day, they used to wear wooden dentures. I don't see how that didn't hurt them.
Yeah, that seems so painful.
Well, I guess those teeth are better than wooden, so I don't know.
I guess
we ain't gonna
say wooden teeth would be better than her teeth.
No,
Is that what
I guess her teeth are better than wooden because at least they're not. She ain't getting splinters and junk in her mouth.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know.
Well, that was this week's episode of Love After Lockup. So make sure before you leave that you click the like button and subscribe. And subscribe if you haven't. I know I'm tripping all over my words. I don't know what's going on. And as always, thank you for watching. And until next time, bye, friends.
Bye.